Hi,
Hey, how
how
are
are
you?
you? Good.
Fantastic. How
Welcome.
are you? Thank you.
I am good. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me
Yes.
okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
So, welcome. We are doing our, I think it's seventh, eighth edition of Beauty Talk Live. And we
Nice.
just want to talk to professionals in the industry, influencers, entrepreneurs like yourself. So I'm so excited to have you join us today. For those of you guys who don't know who AJ Crimson is, I don't know why, but you are
Like, where you been?
celebrity, yeah, where you been? Celebrity makeup artist and entrepreneur, and I love your products. We have them at the store. I'm wearing
Yeah.
them right now on my face.
Love
I
that.
get the seal of approval from you.
You
Um,
look gorgeous.
Thank you. So yeah, just for those who don't really know your story, tell us like your about your career, how you started in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. I'll try to give you like the quick version because I could keep you here for 45 minutes. Started out in radio, moved into artist development for record labels. That trickled over into fashion styling for a little while,
Oh.
and then that moved into makeup artistry. Actually, I found myself one day not really loving the work that a makeup artist had done on a set that I was on, and I was like, man, if I had your stuff, I would just do this myself because I have a vision for what we were supposed to create, and this was not it. So that just kind of sparked everything off. I worked on a movie called 8 Mile. Some of you may
Oh,
have
okay.
heard of it. You may
Of
not
course.
have, right? With Brittany Murphy and Eminem, and I was in the costumes department on that actually as an assistant and PA, and that was really the launching pad. I think
Mm.
it gave me the opportunity to moved to Los Angeles. So the costume designer, Mark Bridges, Oscar-winning costume designer now, he invited me to LA, and I took him up on the offer. And within maybe 2 or 3 months of that, like I found myself there, and I literally just kind of beat the pavement for about 2 3 years. Fergie ended up being my first celebrity client,
Okay.
and I just grew with her. So I was with her for maybe 3 or 4 years, but in that time I had started working with Christina Milian and A. Marie, Latoya Luckett, Faith Evans, Keisha Cole, and all these
Everyone.
girls that you know today. Yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
You work with one of my favorites, Brisha Webb. I just love her.
Yes, I love
She's like my
Risha.
best friend in
Are
my
you
head.
serious?
Yeah, no,
Okay, I
just
was
in
gonna
my
say
head,
like,
in
oh
my
my
head.
god, like,
No, I love her. I love
because
her
she knows
personality.
everybody.
Yeah,
That's the
she
crazy
does.
thing.
We
Risha
know a
knows
couple people in common. Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, you are an entrepreneur. You have
Yes.
AJ Crimson Beauty. So
Yeah.
tell us about that. Like, what made you create this line?
So AJ Crimson Beauty was birthed. I mean, I had been working. So I had a line prior to that called Kissable Couture, and I launched that in
Good name.
2007 with Forrest Whitaker's wife Keisha, and it was a line of luxury lip glosses. So before kind of I think, and actually, I would say honestly, it wasn't there weren't many independent brands out. Around that time, to be honest, and
What
not
around what
really.
year was that?
This was like 2007.
Okay.
So
Wow.
2007 is when we launched it, September 7th of 2007. And we launched in Henry Bendel in New York, Fred Siegel in LA. So it was very posh lip
Mm-hmm.
gloss, to say the least. And, so we did that. But while doing that, I had learned so much, because it took about 2 years to kind of get that to market. Um, and it
Now,
had
were the lip glosses inclusive? Like, were you targeting people of color or everyone?
It was everyone.
Okay.
The interesting thing is that before Keisha came on board, I had been talking to different investors, and they were saying, "Oh, if you tell me this is for Black women, I'll totally give you the money." But I was just like, "Well, it's lip gloss. Like lip gloss is for every person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why does it have to specifically just be for, one group?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I didn't really understand that concept, and after talking to Keisha about it and just saying, hey, like, this is what I'm planning to do, she was like, hey, like, I want to be on board with you. And that was kind of how it started. So, we were able to launch on Oprah, like for
Wow.
her friend's favorite things, which was really great.
Yeah.
Harper's and Mary Claire, WWD. So it was actually a really amazing launch. The recession came about maybe a couple years later
Mm.
and kind of stopped a lot of forward plans. And I would say around 2010, we just made the decision to close it. But also in that same moment, I had been developing and working on AJ Crimson Beauty. I didn't really know
Okay.
when it would come out or how I would bring it out or if it would even come out. I had just started working on things that I loved, you know, like foundations. I actually started with powders and foundation sticks. And I didn't really know what voice it would have. You know, I just wanted to try things. So I was testing things here and there. And in 2013 is when, after testing a few different products, I was like, you know what, I just have to do my foundation. I know it's going to be hard. I know that it's going to, it's just not going to be easy. You know, it's not going to be easy, one, to introduce a luxury line of foundation at $45 for Black women, especially, because most Black women had only been accustomed to getting, you know, drugstore makeup that actually worked, you know. So here we are, you know, I'm trying to basically drive an uphill battle, you know, like I'm fighting uphill with something, but I believed in it. And I also knew that I wanted to approach it from the opposite spectrum. So instead of just like developing the lighter shades and working my way down, you know, to the deeper ones, which is actually what I had started doing initially.
Okay.
It was like, okay, cool, like I'll get there, but you know, my deepest color didn't work at first. And I was at a trade show testing my foundation stick, and I was like, oh, I saw this darker skin woman had come, you know, and I was like, oh my God, I have the perfect color for you. And she was like, oh, let me see it. So I went to swatch it on my hand, and on my skin, the swatch looked perfect. It looked like it would be correct on her. When I swatched it on her, we both just kind of looked at it and was like, yeah, I guess that wasn't really it. That's not it. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, let me just wipe that off real quick. And that's where it was just like back to the drawing board. And I think in that moment, I knew that I had to get the darkest color right. And I actually wanted to go beyond her shade. I wanted to match a woman who was South Sudanese, because for me, it felt like if I can get this girl, you know, correct, then I know that I can make all the other colors behind that. You know what I mean?
So are those deeper colors, are they harder, or is it just that we don't have the right like products for it, pigments, you know what I mean? Like,
You
is
know,
it the availability of the resources, or
the pigments are there.
okay.
The ability is there. I think it's just somebody's willingness to want it to be there, you know. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, like where I do make the deepest shade, and a lot of brands have followed suit, and they copied the brand. They absolutely use AJ Crimson Beauty as a benchmark for their lines, for sure. Oh yeah, like I've definitely like tapped a couple of shoulders, like, oh, like that 4.5 you make, it looks awful close to my 4.5 and number 5, and or that number 8 that you have, like or these 3 darkest colors that you just released. You know, I can absolutely see where we inspired that. You know, but yeah, that's a whole nother thing too. But you know, I've had developers come and tell me like, oh, like, you know what, somebody brought your line in the other day, and they just said, hey, like, I want to can we just copy this? Can't we just make this? So what it was, it wasn't a necessity. It wasn't seen, it wasn't deemed to be a necessity in 2013. That's what it was. I mean, I think even when you look at my collection, my top selling colors are our shade. You know, it's 4.5, 5, you know, maybe number 7. Those are like the biggest one, the ones that move the fastest. Number 8 is a slow burner, you know, but she's here. She does exist. And I think that was the thing. Like, we can't not make it because it doesn't sell as fast. We have to make it to make the line complete. Just like my number 1, my shade number 1, I don't sell a ton of number 1, you know what I mean? And it's our fairest shade, but there is a woman out there who needs number 1. You know, she maybe just hasn't discovered it for me, or maybe not enough of them feel like enough women in that category feel like, oh, like this is a brand for her. So, you know, or that I would have it. So I think that that's the thing, but we don't not make it because it would just be our luck that one day, you know, she walks into your store and she's like, hey, like, you know what, like, I'm here picking up some stuff, but I've been hearing a lot about AJ Crimson. You know, is there a color here for me? And then you say that, oh, he doesn't make it anymore. You know what I mean? Or it's discontinued. Like that, you know, that's not inclusivity, right? So for me, it's always been important to be inclusive from the onset, you know, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on. And, you know, because starting out my career in fashion and working with Fergie, you know, and Hilary Duff even, you know, who were two clients of mine, you know, to then working with, you know, all the girls in between, you know, and not even having a contour color for Estelle. Like she's a warm brown, you know, but I needed contour colors for her, and to not have something that fits that need. Is just kind of like, why, as a black person, why do you have that? You know what I mean? And even as a black makeup artist, right?
Yeah.
Like we always have to know how to do everybody, when a lot of our, you know, fairer counterparts don't necessarily have to have that until now. I think maybe it's been more prioritized, where, hey, like, you're not, and I always tell people, you're not a real makeup artist if you don't have AJ Crimson in your kit. You know what I mean? Because we have all the colors for you, and
you cater to that market specifically.
Yeah, and there's no excuse.
Yeah,
and there's just no excuse not to have it. So yeah,
I think that's amazing, because I found out about you in doing research for the store, right? And I'm like, there has to be some more inclusive beauty brands, more cosmetic lines made by Black people. And so I found you through another retailer around the corner. I'm sure you know who they are. And so I'm like, oh, I have to, you know, get this guy into our store. And so I just want to say to you, thank you, because honestly, I feel like this is the reason why BDBs exist, to promote brands like yours. You know what I mean? Like, had I not gone into that store, I would have never known. You're not on the commercials. People aren't talking about you, but you serve a purpose. And I mean, I love I'm wearing it now. I wear it every day. Like, we had a shoot today. I'm like, I'm wearing my AJ Crimson.
Yes.
So I appreciate you, and I appreciate your brand and the purpose behind your brand. So speaking of the brand, by the way, if anyone joining us has questions, please type them up and send them in, and we'll make sure we ask AJ. I want to get into your line.
Yes, please.
So I have some goodies.
What do you have? Show me.
I have everything. I have all the things. Okay, let's start with the...
You have some exclusives there too.
Artist kit. Really? Okay. Okay, so let's start with the artist kit.
Yes.
I think this is the warm brown. How do you say it? The warm.
Oh, that's the warm to deep. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, doesn't that look so good? Can you take the film off of it so I can see it? It's nothing that warms my heart more than to see like a fresh AJ Crimson artist kit. Like when they're being made and I either get pictures or I'm there like watching it happen, I just to see like a sea of that is just so beautiful to me.
It's beautiful. The packaging is beautiful. It's very, like you said, luxury and premium.
Yeah.
I love it. So tell us about this. Did you start with this or?
No. So actually I started with this really beautiful jar. It actually used to come in like this really beautiful jar, this black acrylic jar that that was what I envisioned seeing this product in for the longest time. What I realized was that I was giving customers about a 3-year supply of that. So it was like, oh, like, yeah, way too much. So I quickly switched the next year. But the artist kit was actually really special because, you know, in the beginning, what I was creating was this luxury line of cosmetics for, you know, everyday women to participate in. But I also had a huge following of professional makeup artists, you know, and for my kit, I absolutely would have those large, beautiful jars like to pull out and put in front of my clients because that's the clientele that I have. But I found that a lot of makeup artists were really liking to scoop things out and try to depot them and put it into other things because they were trying to condense their kits, you know, because they maybe were telling a different brand story as far as their career goes. So for me, I was like, okay, how do I not only service the pro community, but also create something that is easily transferable or movable? So that's where that kind of was born. So now you have basically this amazing kit of 6 colors in the warm to deep, 6 colors in the fair to tan, and 6 colors in the conceal and correct. And you're able to actually, to do refills on those. You can pop them out and you can replace them. So it's actually pretty genius. Also, the thing I love about that as well is that if you are, no matter what complexion you are, 9 times out of 10, if you're in a warm or brown family, you are in that kit. All of those colors can work on each one of us. So whether you're my complexion, your complexion, Estelle's complexion, Brisha's complexion. You can literally find yourself in that kit, and you can take it from summer to winter. When you're a little warmer, you just use some of the warmer shades. In the winter, you use more of the lighter shades within that palette. So it's actually, it's a quick fix for everybody, really.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
And you said there's 3 different palettes. The
So
warm
there's
to
3
deep.
different palettes. There's the
Okay.
warm to deep, the fair to tan, which is like light skin Black girl to Caucasian skin. So Hispanic skin, Asian skin, and lighter skin Black girls can fit within that. And then there's the conceal and correct kit, which is really great because you can use that in a multitude of ways. Like I use conceal and correct as cheek color. I use it as corrector, of course, on Indian skin, on Black skin, on white skin. It's multi-purpose.
It does everything. I love it. Okay, so let's go to, is this your newest product?
Oh yeah, so that's your exclusive.
This is our exclusive. Beauty Bees exclusive, everyone.
So Beauty Bees exclusive, like that literally is nowhere else. No, it's not even available on my website. Yeah, like we don't plan to release it on our website until maybe October, I think now, October or November. But you have it there. It's a nod to our original jar. So a lot of women were like, oh my God, I love the jar, I want it back. And I was trying to find a way to bring back that luxury feel. And we also, because we mostly sell in pro stores, there wasn't a real space other than Beauty Bees to put it. I was like, you know what? Like I want this, like your store is so beautiful. I was like, that is where this belongs. So, so it is a year's worth of foundation. And I tend to, I know the women that are going to buy that are going to be the women that are diehard AJ Crimson fanatics. You know, like they know their shade. They know that they love the brand. They know they've been with me for 7 years or within that time frame. And they know that they go through at least 2 compacts a year. So that's going to be the perfect solution for you because it's literally 2 compacts of foundation inside of one beautiful jar. And you leave.
I've had it for a few weeks, and I usually use my fingers or something the brush, but it's so like luxurious. Right? You
Thank you.
Don't need a lot. You do not need a lot, and
you don't.
It just melts on your skin. My skin picks it up. I love it. I think I'm a 4.5, but I was gonna ask. What tips would you give us in determining our shade or finding our shade? Because so the last live we had, I had Alicia Scott from Rain Beauty, and she's like, "Don't swatch on your." She was like, "Don't swatch on your neck or your cheek." How would you suggest we find our favorite shade, our best shade?
So I actually think. Oh, actually, can you put one earbud with your mic in? It's a little hard to hear. Okay. That's okay.
Okay.
Whichever one has that microphone. I don't have them, so I don't know where the microphone is on that thing. But but I would say I always match from the center of the face first. And the reason why I do that is because I wonder if I can show you. I think I have my kits close by, so I will actually show you what I mean. And as I drop everything, nice. This is the fair to tan kit. Woo! And I'm actually going to use that. Let's see if this is the warm to deep. Nope. This one is. Okay. So I'm going to match from the center of the face. And the reason being, so when you even look at this palette and you look at the various shades that are in there, you can see some of those shades like in my complexion, right? So it's just about matching the right shades to the perfect spaces on the face. So I'm actually going to go with number 4, which is this one in the lower right hand corner. So I'm going to take a little bit of number 4. And the reason why I match it to the center of the face is because when I wake up in the morning, I spend a lot of long nights up just working on my brand all the time. So literally, if I just start at the center and kind of work underneath my eye, it automatically picks me up and wakes me up, right? Do you see the difference already?
Yeah.
So most people don't have a lot of skin issues or things to cover, but they do have like this desire to look more awake and alive.
Youthful,
so that and have that lift. So even just that little dab just kind of did so much for my face. Now imagine if I take I'm going to go into the warm to
deeper.
deep tint. I don't have my 4.5 in here because one of my clients took it from me. So I'm gonna go up a little warmer to like a number 5, but I'm gonna take that number 5 and literally just kind of with my hand, with my finger, and you can. So this is where my barber cut me, right? So watch how that just goes away and disappears with just a little bit of motion. And it also gives me a little bit of warmth. So as a guy, I want a little bit of depth. I want a little bit of warmth. With women, we tend to want to put a little bit more light and bring more of that glow from the inside out. So there's not it's just less shadows, really, because less shadows on a woman makes it look a lot softer and a lot more feminine. On guys, more shadows, it makes you look a little bit more, just more rough, more masculine, more, more of those features. So a little harder, not softer. So, I mean, that's just with those 2 shades, right? And imagine if we went into contouring a little bit, if I just took a little swatch, and this is just all with my fingers, like, so a little bit goes such a long way, and it just makes a world of a difference. So look at this tragic side over here versus this amazing. I look like I have a filter on, kind of a face. So it really is magical in the sense of it doing it and not needing a whole lot of product, and I think that's also the beauty about it. One thing I've been, just kind of telling women, especially since we've been on quarantine, right? We haven't really had a need, or women haven't necessarily had a need to, we all haven't had a need to do a lot of things, get our hair cut, do our hair, get our hair done, put our lashes on, our makeup, all that stuff. And it is the kind of this thing of skin. For me, it's always about beautiful skin. So whether you are just doing it for yourself, or you're doing it to jump on a live call, or doing it to get on a work call, or just going out, like, it is always just about seeing yourself before you see the makeup. And I think that's what's so important about the brand. We're hearing this thing, oh, skin is in. Skin has always been in. I've been in the business for 16 years as a makeup artist. And from the day that I started, it was always about skin. It's just that we've gone through these different changes of wanting to use 22 products, to get to a flawless face, as opposed to now, I think women are just tired. They're just tired of taking too long. They're just tired of spending 2 hours on it. And AJ Crimson Beauty has always been available for you to not take 2 hours to get it done and just, still be as beautiful.
I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
And it's true. I feel like we're shifting into like what we want as a look now, and the look is more natural, dewy. We didn't do too much to our face. We didn't take on a bunch of products, and I love that. Like I said, a little goes a long way. And one of the other products I want to mention that helps with that finish, that look, is the translucent powder.
Woo! Oh my God, that you know what, I don't think you have the 2 new ones, but the ones you have are like the holy grail of the line.
It's so good.
Which one do you have right there? Is
this
that
one is
Nutromat or bamboo?
Bamboo. Yeah,
okay,
this is what I use actually.
Okay, can you just take a touch of that with your finger or like a brush? And I just want,
you guys, don't judge my nails, okay?
Don't judge it. Take a little bit of that and just swap it right under your eye, just as close as you can. So just look at that.
It's beautiful.
Like it just gives you this airbrushed finish. It's like you just literally just Photoshop your face and you're already beautiful.
My bag's under my eyes. Yeah.
And it sets the makeup beautifully.
Earlier, but big thank you. Yeah, this looks, I love the powder.
Thank you.
I'm an oily skin person, and I feel like even though your products are like rich, they don't weigh my skin down.
Right.
I don't feel myself blotting as much. You know what I mean? And then if I do get a little shiny, I just put a little bit more of this on under my eye,
in those areas. Yep. And I always like to blot. Take like a Kleenex and just blot the skin in those areas. And one day we'll have to do a class, like a live, set up like a live Zoom that we'll do, and I'll share like some real tips in that they can use, and they'll see they said, it looks like Photoshop. Somebody said they need it in Rio right now, in Rio de
Yes.
Janeiro. Yes, I'm coming to Brazil soon.
We can ship, by the way. We'll ship to
Oh yes,
Brazil
I
for
love
you.
it. Come on, yes, they ship. They
We'll
ship.
find a way.
I
Okay.
love that.
Okay, so let me talk about my faves.
Tell me.
And it's the lips. Okay.
Ooh,
I
is that
wore
Hey Girl Hey
I
or
wore
Go Off?
this one day. This is Go Off.
Yes.
And we sold so many after I wore it because it is so good,
You
so full of pigment. Like
you got
all
to
you
put
need is
that
one
on.
swipe.
You got to put it on now.
I have my no shade on right now.
I know it's so. No shade is so okay. So
No shade is
do
perfect.
you have no shade in stock?
Yes, we have no shade in stock.
Okay, because I'm out of stock on that. I have
Okay, well you
no
can
shade.
go
So
to
you got to go to Beauty Bees.
and
Don't
get
go
the
to
no shade.
agentconsent.com. Go to Beauty Bees.
It is the perfect nude.
It's the perfect brown girl nude ever. Like
Perfect. I don't even have to line my lips or anything. I just put it on.
they want you to put it on again.
I have it on, you guys. Okay, I'll put the no shade. I'll put it on, huh? It's perfect. I didn't line my lips. I didn't do anything. I just maybe put some chapstick on this morning.
And
That's
you know
it.
what you should also try as a liner? Take either not no explanation. I'm sorry, X Factor or do I have
Okay.
it close by? I might have
I'm
it.
writing it down.
I'm like, let me grab my tester set so I can get in on this with you. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
By the way, guys, this is the Go Off.
Okay, so I gotta. Oh, you gonna do it on there? Okay, nice. I was gonna say, like, do I have to? Let me swatch it on my hand. So if you take a little bit of X Factor, which I'm just swatch it here so you can see it. But if you take a little bit of X Factor and put a little bit of no shade, like over the top of this, like
it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be like liner. You see how it would be like a liner, like that effect. So that would be really great. And you see how it just like looks so good on my skin. Like if it were actually a lip color, that would be gorgeous.
And it's so natural.
Yeah. I wish I could prop my phone up so I can show you more swatches.
I feel like my Go Off isn't popping as much as I want because I have the no shade on. So
then I have to. Then I'm gonna show that. Hold on one second. I'm gonna find a way to like prop this up. All right. So this.
It's so good. Oh my goodness.
That is Go Off. You guys,
all you need is one swipe.
If you only need one swipe, Go Off and also get Hey Girl Hey. Put Hey Girl Hey on first, which is my matte liquid lip.
I saw that.
And then put Go Off on top of this, and it amplifies it even more. Like, it's insane.
Yes. Someone's Go Off literally changed my entire. It did. It'll transform you.
Yes. Like, Go Off is amazing. Like, that is, that one is really great. Look at, I'm trying to get my phone not to move. This one is called Coins.
Yep, we have that. We have all of these at the store, you guys, and they're
Coins
all
is
online
amazing.
too.
What else do I need to show you? I need to show you Miss Honey, which is also
the names.
amazing.
What's your inspiration behind the names?
You know what? It just kind of, I think it's more of like a feeling.
Because it's so perfect.
It's like, what does it actually give you a feel for? You know? So like, this was like, I think we were just in a meeting and it was like, oh, like, this feels like Miss Honey. It just sounds so, it feels so sassy and just, you know, it's gold, obviously like honey. So that would be really great. Then you got to get this. If you guys don't have this in your life, like, I don't know what you're doing to yourself, but this is called Ruby Who.
Ruby. Mm-hmm.
So Ruby Who is like, so this actually was, that name actually came up in a group meeting. And one of my staff members was like, oh, how about Ruby Who? And I was like, oh my God, like people are gonna think we're being so shady. And I was like, but I love it. I was like, and we are totally not being shady, but it worked. But it is kind of like Ruby.
But you know what? Like, and it's like when you hear the name, you know what it is already.
You know where it's going.
You guys, you gotta get them. I promise you, like, you will not be disappointed. They are premium lip colors, like. And
it's
you have
nothing
matte,
like
you
that.
have shiny, like everything.
Yes. And also too, they last 24 hours. So
Yes.
they really last like
For
48
sure.
hours, but I
Oh,
just like
really?
to say 24. Yeah, they really can't stay on for 48 hours. Through like chicken grease, if you
Yeah.
eat Popeyes or whatever
It
you
does.
eat.
It doesn't wear off. And I
Yeah.
love that. I hate like, putting a glass down and having my lipstick on the glass. I love it. We're getting so many comments. So
I
many
know. I
pieces.
want to get into some of these. She said, I just placed my order yesterday for the foundation. Amazing. Love that. I'm throwing away all of my makeup. I'm throwing all of my makeup away, loving everything. You
I'm
absolutely should.
telling
Really fill
you.
up your kit with all AJ Crimson. You won't forget it. Somebody said they pulled their man with wearing go off, and he's everything. Thank you, AJ. I love that. You better be out here pulling men.
What do you
Let's see.
what's next? Do you have any other products that you want to launch within the, like, is it more face? Is it like eyes?
So I am working on some other stuff.
Okay.
Super preliminary.
Okay.
Um, Actually, I have a new lip collection coming out.
Oh,
That comes
yes.
out sooner than everything else I was getting ready to talk about.
Wow.
But there's some really beautiful colors. There's 4 of the colors that are done now. It will actually grow to 5. So it'll be 5 colors in total. It'll probably come out in the next 30 days.
Oh, that's
Um,
soon.
yeah, so it's really dope. I'm super excited about it. The interesting thing is I've had these colors done for about a year and a half now. Probably about, yeah, I want to say about, it's coming up on a year and a half. I didn't have a time. I couldn't find the right time to put them out. So,
There's never a right time.
yeah, it's never a right time. And I was like, you know what? Now's the right time. I was like, naming them sometimes can be the problem too. Cause like sometimes you just come up with ideas on like what colors
Hmm.
should be. And then once you get your grouping together of like what these colors are, it's like, okay, so what is this going to mean? Like, what is this going to say beyond just, oh, 5 bright colors or, something like that. So
Hmm.
this has like a really dope, like all of the colors, like they had some meaning behind them. These have a really great message behind them too. So I'm
Oh,
super excited.
yay. I'm
Yeah,
excited. Well, make sure you keep us updated.
definitely. Does the
And
foundation expire? No, to be honest, like because of the ingredients, one thing is all natural, paraben free, gluten free, in case you
mm,
decide to eat it of some sort, because everything is gluten free, right? Um, uh, and it's vitamin E and beeswax base, so you can you'll have it for a very long time. Like
okay.
the reason why women had it for 3 years is because it doesn't really expire like that. I mean, you could have it for about 20 years.
Love it. But you
The
won't keep it.
lipsticks, lip glosses, things like that, you do need to switch those out every 6 months. Also, too, I think if you have this foundation for more than 6 months, you're not really using it and you're not taking advantage because each compact lasts you about 6 months. It lasts you 4 to 6 months if you were to use it every day. It'll last you about 4 months. If you use it just here and there, it'll last you about 6 months. You should probably go through like 2 of them like a year in terms of foundation.
Will they be sold as a set? I'm guessing they referring to the artist kit, maybe?
The artist kit, so you can get the artist kit um, in a 3 palette set. So you
Mm-hmm.
can get it in a 3 palette set, or you can get them individually. Each one individually is $149, and then all together as a set is $450. And they literally are the best things that you could ever have in your kit. They're well worth it. I don't know where you'll be able to get foundation that will last you that long for $25 a pop per pan. So yeah, like it's amazing.
So AJ, we have another question
Yes.
from Linda. What was your most challenging obstacle you faced when creating makeup for people of color?
I think that the most challenge, you know what, honestly, I won't say I don't even see it. I don't think it was even in making the makeup. I don't think making the
Mm,
makeup was the most challenging part. The most challenging part was getting Black women and Black people to support the brand with me being Black at the price
mm.
point in which we sell. Because again, it was a thing of like, oh, that lip gloss is $22. Wait, I'm just gonna get me some Wet and Wild. Well, go get it. This wasn't for you. You know what I mean? Like, this is never for you. You know what I mean? Like, if that's your benchmark, then that's fine. To each his own.
That's not
However,
your customer.
that's not my customer. And I think that was the thing. It was just like, it's just us knowing who our customer is, finding her, finding ways for her to find us. And I think that's the thing. But I think that we have also, we've kind of stepped over that hill.
We
You know
have.
what I mean? Because
we're shifting, you know.
Yes.
I was going to ask you too, given the current racial climate and the elevation of Black-owned businesses, has that affected AJ Crimson Beauty?
The elevation of it, I think that I think we were prepared for this moment because we haven't changed our conversation. You know what I mean? Like, all the products, the things that I use in my personal makeup kit for my clients are all luxury. I mean, to tell you a story, like a brief one, when I was younger, when I was a kid and like living in my parents' home, like, and they were buying clothes for me, like, we would go to the department store and I wouldn't allow the salesperson to just fold my stuff and put it in bags. It needed to be put in individual boxes. So I was 12, 13, 14, 15, like having each one of my things that I was purchased or that my parents purchased put in individual boxes. So it was always in me to have a luxurious spirit
I love that.
and to have a luxurious lifestyle, like, or at least feel like I was in that space, even if it wasn't necessarily me putting me in that space. So the brand itself is always, I think that's just always carried through, so we've been there. And I think that the quality of the product has always been there. And I think Black women and women of color and just anyone that needs a solution for people that look like Black and brown people, they appreciate the quality. So we've always catered to that person. And I think that with what has happened, we've just been prepared for the moment, because as people are searching, I could be wrong, but as far as I know, I'm the only man in makeup with their own line of products at this point. That's like living outside of Kevin and Quan. I think I'm the only Black man. So, so to be in a space where, we are creating such a quality product that speaks to so many beautiful, people around the world. And, in a time where the market is really dominated by women, like, I think we're doing pretty good. And it's actually done really well for us. I think it's really allowed. One thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of people who've had AJ Crimson for a very long time, and they never spoke about it. They never talked about it. They always tried to keep it a secret. Or I definitely spotted a few folks where I knew they were using the product, but they were calling it something else. And for sure. I've seen my product be called Chanel, and Chanel doesn't even make these colors. I've seen it be called 1,000 things. And
oh my gosh, that is wild.
Yeah, and I've seen that happen on the Black side and white side, and anybody in between. Like, now what has happened is it's fashionable to tout your Black-owned makeup brand that you use and that you support it. You know what I mean? But the reality is that a friend of mine we were talking, and she's like, yeah, like, we're not a trend. Being a Black-owned business is not a trend. We've been around. We can create beautiful spaces. We can create beautiful products, quality products. We can, and we have. You know what I mean? That speak and elevate. So it wasn't a thing of us. And I'm always looking to elevate the brand, in every step that we take. But it wasn't that the elevation wasn't there. I think we needed to hold our ground so that people could finally elevate to a standard that we were at. You know what I mean? To be able to appreciate something more. When you've only been given a half glass of dirty water, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, oh, well, I'll just go ahead and get that, girl. You know what I mean? I'm just going to get that because it's there. That's all we got.
It's the only option.
But when you see a glass of clean water, a half glass of clean water, you're like, oh, well, you know what? I do want to try that. And some people are afraid to try it. But those that are not afraid to try that, they feel the refreshment. You know what I mean? Like, their spirit is refreshed. There's a pride in that, and
they get it.
and they get it and they want more, and then they realize that they deserve more. And I think that
Yes,
things like what you're doing and what I'm doing is telling people that cater to our brands and that shop with us that you deserve more. You deserve more because we've seen more. We've been privileged to see more and know what more looks like, and I want to give that to you too. You know, so yeah.
absolutely. And I mean, it rings true, especially with our brands. One of the reasons why I started the store is because I was fed up with how women of color shop for our beauty needs, in particular our hair care needs. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
the stores that are for us, they're not the best. Like
They look like
we
swap
deserve.
meets. They look like swap meets. Why do you always have to? And that's the thing. Why does the things that work for you always have to look like a swap meet? Why we always got to look like we rummaging around for some shit? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
no. Like, I want to walk
we.
into a place when I had the AJ Crimson Beauty Atelier in Los Angeles on La Brea. Like, I'm on La Brea. That's an expensive street
That's
to be on.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a big deal.
And it was so beautiful. I loved it to death, but Black women just didn't get it. Like I think it was ahead of its time.
Yes,
Like it
it
literally
was.
was
It
ahead
was.
of its time. Like I wish I could have held out to just
Yeah,
leave it open
it
a
would be
couple more
perfect for
years, because
now.
now would have been the time to have it. But it was just like, no, I'm good. I'll work through retailers like you and other folks that have that same messaging.
Yeah.
But it really was to give you an experience of coming into Barney's without
Hmm.
having to look over your shoulder or to feel like it was like you didn't belong there. Like, we
Yes.
need to continue to create our own spaces where we can give that luxury experience and bring a sense of elevation and like, wow, like, Brittany, when I come in there, I do want to get a glass of a wine or a glass of champagne or something to that effect. I want that.
Yes, and we're
You know what I
giving it
mean?
to we're giving it to
And
you
we're getting
too.
that. You know what I mean? And I want to come and I just chill and look around and get the things that I need and come back to that beautiful space you have in the back and get my
Hmm.
makeup done or have a little consultation. I want all of that. And
Yes,
Black women deserve all of
we
that.
deserve
Black
it.
people
Hmm.
deserve all of that in every space that
Yes,
we shop in.
yes.
So
I need a drink to that.
listen, I'm just like, so it's just like and I think that I'm really excited that in this moment, our Black businesses are being highlighted.
They are.
I can tell you that I've received so much press in the
Hmm.
last 3 weeks that
I've seen it.
people didn't find a story for me. I didn't fit the story that they were trying
Mm.
to tell, or it wasn't important. Like, well, what's different? I mean, it is important that I'm a Black owned business bringing this level
Most
of
definitely.
elevation, for sure. That's important in itself. That's the story. You know what I mean? The fact that I'm a Black man in business 7 years after being copied 1,000 times, and those brands are falling by the wayside
Or trying to
through
emulate you.
COVID.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like, you're trying to compete with me, and I feel like we found a way to compete in our own lane. Like,
Hmm.
I don't feel like we've missed a beat. Like, with it, because there's no authentic there's no voice of authenticity behind those product
Those
offerings.
brands. Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
it's it's one thing you can put as many Black faces in front of the others that own it and say, "Oh yeah, this is for you, Black girl.
This
Look,
is
we
yeah.
made it for you. Come on over." You know what I mean? But I feel like the Black shopper is more savvy now, and she's actively asking questions. It's
We are.
become
Hmm.
it's become the norm. I think I want us to continue to make it the norm to ask people, how many Black people do you have working there? How many is this Black owned? I mean, and if you guys don't know, do you know Melissa Butler, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Lip bar.
Okay,
Hmm.
from the Lip Bar, the Black Pack. She started the Black Pack.
Yes, I saw that.
So
Hmm.
we've taken the pack. We've joined the pack where we are actively looking for the things that we participated and purchased from, and people that we give our money to are
Yes.
Black people. So it's a
And
good time.
there's so many Black businesses deserving of our dollar, and
Yes,
we have to
yes,
be more intentional about how we're spending our dollar, because
yeah,
for so long so many people have taken it for granted.
yeah, absolutely, and
you know
they still are, and and they're taking us for granted, and it's just like we don't have to live like that. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to
yeah.
spend our money like that. We spend over $1 trillion in beauty products, hair and makeup, and there's so many
So
There's
much money.
so many amazing brands that we could be putting that money into. And again, if you have a brand that you love, and I don't make everything. Like I don't make eyeshadow. I might get into it, maybe in 2021. But if there's something that I don't make, get in my DMs and say, hey, AJ, you know what? Like, I would really love to see this come from your brand,
Yeah.
or, say, hey, like, Beauty Bees, when you walk in there, like, hey, like, could you guys carry this? Like, I really love
Yeah.
this
And we
brand.
do.
And,
Yeah.
and
We do
that's the way
that.
that you're going to learn about it. And that's also the way that when you invest your dollar into our businesses, guess what? We can buy more product and bring more brands in.
Absolutely.
I have the funding to put more things in the line, things that you want to see. But if you're sitting on the sideline waiting on it, or you're not telling your friends
Critiquing.
about it, then it hurts our businesses. It doesn't help me to grow. It doesn't help us to do the things that you need done.
Speaking of growing, we have a question from Oba Beauty, and they ask, initially, did you face any hurdles with marketing? And if so, how did you overcome those hurdles?
No, no, I mean, I wouldn't say so. Well, maybe there's something I wouldn't say at first.
Okay.
When I launched Kissable Couture, we put about $80,000 into PR.
Wow.
So you know what I mean. Like it's not and I think, and I'm sure and I think if you equate that, to ad buy and like all that stuff, like our attraction was probably well over $1 million, like in viewership. In viewership, I mean, being on Oprah alone, you know what I mean. Like you to pay for that space, I don't know what that would cost. You know what I mean. When I launched AJ Crimson Beauty, we didn't spend nearly that much, but we were using more. This was the start of social media. It was the start of Instagram.
I was gonna say
really.
digital, yeah.
Yeah, so I literally just posted a lot of before and after photos on Instagram, and that was before they started messing with the algorithm. Everybody that followed me, my 7,000 followers, actually saw everything that I did, and it actually generated money. Since then, since they've changed things, I think it's probably harder now to market because you again have to break through all the noise.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's so many competitors out there
So many
in the space
competitors
who have bigger ad
budgets,
dollars. Yeah,
ad dollars. I think the day of the influencer has shifted and changed. In the beginning, it was kind of good. It worked because everybody was following those people from YouTube. But then once the viewer really realized that, oh, my new favorite lipstick, girl, that was your new favorite lipstick last week, or this, you got a new favorite one every day. So then they discover that, oh, you're getting paid to talk about this. So now they don't really trust that, and the girl has a million followers and can't sell 10 lipsticks. You know what I mean? So for me, we've never paid anybody we've never paid anybody to use our product. I've never gifted the product in a major way because I felt like, hey, like, Tom Ford's not giving you anything for free. Why should I have to give you something to love it?
That's true.
If you want to try it, like I get an email a day, that says, oh, I would love to try your makeup, or, oh, do you have a PR program or PR list I can get on? No, I have a membership program. If you want a 40% discount, you can join our membership program for $120, and you can get 40% off of my.
Yeah.
Because I want you to love it. Like if the women that talk about my brand and that celebrate us, they've spent their money to try it, just like they spent their money to try the thing that didn't work. So if you spent your $45 for the thing that didn't work because you bought it for the name, you can come over here and you can visually look at the product and tell that there's something in here for you.
Yeah.
You can spend that money and take that chance on my Black-owned business.
And you can look at your IG page, especially the AJ Crimson Beauty page, because it'll show your product on beautiful women. You know what I mean? And I love that, knowing that, you weren't gifting products to these people, paying them to post about it. It just speaks to how great and high quality your brand is.
Thank
So
you.
if anybody's wondering what a lip looks like on your skin tone, or what shade you are, I would definitely recommend going to your page, because it does a really great job of highlighting different colors, different shades, and different products.
Yeah, we try to, and like we need to do more in the way of, I've just always celebrated like deeper skinned women. I think that's just been me, like coming out the gate. so we, you definitely see that, because I feel like she was always missing. And I think that
Love
moving
that.
forward, we're definitely gonna, the plan is to definitely show more, a even broader range of complexions as well. Just so you can see it in another way and another perspective. Um, but there was something that someone had said that I wanted to touch on, but I can't remember what it was. So you
Uh-oh.
keep going. That's all
Okay,
right.
no worries. We're gonna play a little game because we have like 6 more minutes on
Oh
Instagram.
wow. Okay.
So we're gonna do
Look at
this or
this rare
that
ability though.
competition.
I just want to show y'all
I
that.
mean, it's still flawless.
No creasing.
No creasing, no nothing. It looks so good.
Thank you. I need I need to do this on this side, because
I know that your face
I'm gonna
looks
stay
kind
like
of
this.
jacked up. Okay, so I'm just gonna say two different options, and you just pick which one is the better one for you, I guess. So I have neutral lip or bold lip.
Bold lip. Why not?
Okay,
You know what I mean? Like live life out loud.
I love that. Matte or dewy?
Dewy, of course, because dewier skin makes your skin look fresher, younger. Yeah. Matte is out.
So I know it is out, but any tips or tricks for like a dewy finish?
Yeah, use less product. Oh, I see one of my other folks on here from Montreal, my other retail partner. For dewy skin, I honestly put foundation where you need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're using the AJ Crimson, don't go grab your beauty blender and stamp it in the product and stamp it on your face. It's gonna be way too much. Use a medium-sized blush brush and just buff it on, or use your fingers like the way we did.
Yeah.
And only powder where necessary. Like, I would not powder here, but I would powder maybe under
Up
the eye
under.
just slightly. I would powder in the T-zone or around the sides of the nose, like maybe here, maybe the sides of the nose where we tend to get more oily, maybe right in the center of the face, but leave a little shine here, because you want that. You're gonna try to put like some powder highlighter here anyway, right? We can eliminate all of those things and just let it live on its own. Or take a beautiful gloss like Johnny, which they can get from you as well, and take a little bit of Johnny and tap it over the top of the cheekbone. That adds a dewy effect. So you can matte the skin using, yeah, please, like take a little bit of, I have mine like right here. I normally take it and just kind of swatch it on my, because these are testers, I'm gonna do this, but like taking just a bit of that.
Oh, I love that.
Putting it on the skin. I will put it on my hand first, normally, and just tap that in. And see how that gives you just like a really beautiful, like fresh look. So even if you use one of the powders to matte the skin out, you can always add a little freshness on top.
Okay, love that. I'm gonna get some Johnny too. Okay, so lashes or brows? Which one?
Lashes or brows? Brow. I mean, well, I'm lashes. I'm definitely more lashes. I would love more lashes.
Blush
I like
or
natural
bronzer?
brows. Blush or bronzer? I love a lot of warmth, so I'm gonna say bronzer. But I also use my lipsticks as blush. Role play.
Yeah. Okay.
Role play is
Role
really
play is a
beautiful
good
for
blush.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not shiny?
No, it's not shiny. It's more matte.
Okay.
So it actually gives you just like a really beautiful, like peachy tone to the skin.
Natural or glam?
I'm a natural guy. I really love I love that mix, that blend. Like skin needs to be natural for me. It needs to appear natural, even if we use a lot of it. It needs to still look like skin. But I would definitely glam it up with lashes and lines. Yeah.
Eyes too, maybe. Finger or brush?
Blush brush. A medium-sized blush brush. Yeah.
Okay. Medium
To be
size. You use it for
specific.
everything?
I use it for everything. Like I can literally get an entire face done with like 2 brushes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have, AJ.
Oh my God, is that it?
So much. Yeah, we're about to. They're gonna kick us off in like 30 seconds.
Okay, I love it. Well, I love all of you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of your questions that are here.
Yes.
You can somebody asked about determining concealer. Just get the conceal kit. Just get that kit. Number 102 and 105 are like the best ones out of that for concealing, like for lighter and deeper skin tones. But those are the best ones. Go to beautybees.com to get all of that. And yeah, you're the bomb.
Thank you. You're the bomb. Thank
Let's
you
do it
for
again.
this look you gave me today.
Thank you. You are welcome.
I don't have anywhere to go though, but
You know what? Do it for you. We should all be looking good for ourselves.
that's true.
You know?
Let's end on that note. That's so true. Look beautiful for yourselves, people.
Yes.
Thank you, AJ. We'll see you around. I don't know if you're in LA, but feel free to stop by the store anytime. We're here.
Yes, no
So
doubt. Okay.
thank you guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Thank you.